Hey, I'm Jusko from ProudMoney.com. Capital One out with all kinds of news today on the travel rewards front for people that have existing Capital One credit cards. It's going to make you happy. And I wonder if these changes and additions are the precursor to a new high-end Capital One travel credit card maybe coming later this year. Before we talk about any of the facts and speculation, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not already. And if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So Capital One announcing that they have some new transfer partners for holders of their Venture or Capital One Spark Miles cards. They are improving the exchange rate that you would get with some of their existing travel partners. So that means you are going to be able to get more for your points with some of those partners. They are opening up 2 new airport lounges, their first airport lounges, and some other stuff going on as well. And with all of these things put together, I have to wonder if this means a new high-end travel card coming out from Capital One in the somewhat near future. Now, before we get into the speculation part of this video, let's talk about exactly what you are getting if you are a Capital One Venture card holder or a Spark Miles card holder. Being added to the program as transfer partners, British Airways. 2 miles will equal 1.5 miles in the British Airways program. You are going to have Turkish Airlines again, 2 miles, 2 Capital One miles equals 1.5 miles there. You are going to have TAP Portugal or TAP Portugal, depending on how you want to say it, on a 1-to-1 transfer, and then the Choice Hotels program also on a 1-to-1 transfer. All of those other than the Choice Hotels program will be available tomorrow, April 20th. The Choice Hotels program pushed a little bit further down the line. In addition, the pot is being sweetened a bit with some of the existing Capital One travel transfer partners where you used to get 1 mile or 1 hotel point for every 1.5 Capital One points or miles. You are now going to be getting a 1-to-1 transfer with Avianca, Etihad, Cathay Pacific, Asia Miles, Wyndham Rewards, Aeromexico, Qantas, and Finnair. So obviously that's a pretty nice deal when you have new transfer partners coming on board and you have about a 1/3 increase in the value of your points with certain other programs. Now, as always, we're talking mostly about international airlines, which means you're going to have to kind of learn the ins and outs of their programs and what their airline alliances are and all of that sort of thing in order to get really great value out of those points. Some people love to do this. Some people don't like to do it quite as much. But I am seeing today people talking about Turkish Airlines in particular being a place where you can really get some outsized value because you can do a transfer where you could end up going through United and getting to Hawaii and back for 20,000-ish points. Now, how easy that is to do, how often that's available, how flexible you have to be, whether you could get 2 tickets at the same time if you actually want to go with someone to Hawaii, all of those things I'm a little less sure about. And so sometimes you see these, ideas of like, here's this awesome award you can get, but how easy it is to get your hands on it is a different deal. However, if you are someone that is willing to learn these things, you have flexibility, all that kind of good stuff, you're going to be pretty happy with some of these new partners and the higher value that you're going to get from your points with some of the others. Now, in addition to these additions and improvements to the Capital One travel transfer partners is the news that Capital One will be opening its first 2 airport lounges. The first one will be in the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, and that will open at some point here in 2021. The second one will be at Dulles in the DC area, opening in 2022. Capital One offered some renderings of what these airport lounges might look like and a list of some of the amenities, including sort of the expected things, but also things like potential fitness areas, grab-and-go food, which would be nice for people that don't have a lot of time to spend inside one of the lounges. What they did not talk about was pricing and access in terms of who can actually get in and what it would cost to do so. So is everyone going to be allowed in or only Capital One card holders? It sounds like there would be a discount for certain Capital One card holders, but that is a little vague, basically saying depending on what product you have, you might have a discount to get into the airport lounge. But it also sort of screams to me that Capital One is probably thinking about a new card that is coming out where maybe you would have free access to the airport lounge, but they're not quite ready to talk about that yet. Now we'll get back to that idea of the potential high-end travel card in just a second, but first I wanted to mention the fact that Capital One has also partnered with Hopper for a new Capital One travel portal. Hopper is an app, and I guess website, but mostly I think of it as an app that does travel booking, but also has sort of a predictive feature that its users like because of the fact that you can kind of get an idea of when would be the best time to buy things and all that kind of stuff. So Capital One has invested in Hopper. They've actually led a new, bigger investment recently in Hopper. So obviously this is a partnership that is going to get tighter as time goes on. So if you know what Hopper is, you might be really happy about this. If you don't know what Hopper is, just know that Capital One is going to be overhauling their travel portal as well. So with all that said, back in 2019, there was a rumor on the Travel with Grant blog that Capital One was developing a new high-end travel credit card that would compete with the American Express Platinum, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and other high-end cards that have big annual fees. The details were a little sketchy because that was August 2019 and they were saying it wasn't going to come out until the second quarter of 2020, but it would be $495 annual fee. There'd be a travel credit. You'd have enhanced points categories if you went through the Chase travel portal. I think it was going to be 4x on restaurants, a lot of different stuff potentially that card would have. And in early 2020, there actually was the announcement that the Dulles Airport Lounge was going to be developed as well. Well, then the pandemic hit, and anything that might have made us think that that travel credit card was coming, of course, you know, everybody just stopped doing everything that had anything to do with travel. But that rumor was already out there. There was a maybe potential timeline. And so now that we see all of this stuff coming today, you have to think that that rumor was actually true. The Capital One was working on something, but they basically had to put the brakes on, and now they have sort of started the engines again in terms of getting things rolling toward that eventuality. Because if you think about it, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Capital One to start building out an airport lounge network when their existing cardholders at the top end are only paying a $95 annual fee for modest travel rewards. The heavy travelers out there don't think of Capital One as the go-to company for that luxury travel experience that they would want. So the airport lounges, you would have to think, are sort of a stake in the ground toward aspirations to that next level for Capital One to show the serious traveler who spends a lot and is going to be going through airports often that they are going to be able to compete with American Express on the Platinum and Chase on the Sapphire Reserve. Now, it's only two airport lounges. That's not very much. Obviously, American Express has more than that, but it's easy enough for Capital One to team up with Priority Pass in the same way that Chase does and many other high-end travel cards do. But to have their own branded lounges actually puts them ahead of a lot of these other companies, and maybe they can also deal with some of the international airlines to use their networks as well when people travel overseas. But you don't do this for the existing Venture cards or the existing Spark Miles cards. There has to be something else that you are working toward. So it's good news today for Capital One Venture holders and Spark Miles holders, especially if you use those travel transfer partners. But I don't think this is the last thing that Capital One has up its sleeve in terms of its travel credit card aspirations. I would love to hear your thoughts, comments, speculations in that comment section below. Otherwise, I thank you for watching, and as always, please go to proudmoney.com where we do credit card reviews, we talk personal finance, we talk deals, and all sorts of other fun stuff too. Thanks for watching. Bye.